Time for another episode on refactoring. If you recall, we left our tests in a bit of a mess in our last episode, and we're going to refactor them, clean them up. And some may wonder if it's really worth cleaning up tests and improving the code without actually changing its behavior. Well, I think it is, because tests can get messy pretty quickly, and if you keep them clean, you'll be more likely to test in the future. So, you can see here we have 3 tests, and there's quite a bit of duplication going on between them. We're creating a new user with a first, middle, and last name on each of these tests. Then we're comparing it to a string here. To remove the duplication, we can create another method. If we don't start this method with test underscore, then it won't be called in the test suite when we run our tests, which we don't want it to because there's no assertions in it. So let's just call it full name. It can be nice and generic because this is just a quick method for the user test, and I like to keep test methods short. So let's pass the first, middle, and last name, and then we'll have this method create a new user with those passed values. And then call full name on it. Now in each of these tests, we can just do full name and just pass these values. And we don't need that line anymore. So let's do these tests again. And in this test we would just do nil because before we didn't specify the middle initial, so it would be nil. And now go to our tests and make sure they are passing, and they are. Now that these tests are so simple, we can probably merge them all into one test here. Just test full name. That sounds good. Make sure everything's still working, and it is. Now one problem with this is that if an assertion fails, it's not immediately apparent which assertion failed, because there's 3 in here. So let's just make one fail just to break something. And now it's not immediately apparent which one of these failed. To solve that, we can actually add a message as a third parameter to this assert equals. So actually all assert methods take a message parameter, so we can call just something short, let's say blank middle initial, and now if one of the assertions fails, we have this little message up here which will tell us which one it was. So blank middle initial, obviously that was the one that failed, and so we could fix that, and now our tests are nice and clean. I want to give a big thank you to our sponsor Peepcode. They make very high quality screencasts on Ruby on Rails, so if you've enjoyed these Rails casts, I think you will enjoy them too. Check them out at peepcode.com.